Hello, friends from all over the world. Welcome again to yet another great meeting where we are going to share our success stories and we are going to learn and listen to a great leader in education from South Africa. We are privileged and blessed to have people who are doing great things to make a difference in the world, want to come and facilitate learning, want to come and share their success stories. In the process, I believe each one of us will be able to pick something that they can run with. Each one of us will get inspired and get the right insights to start something. Or if you've started something, you get the insights to continue with what you've started until you see the results. Because in education for sustainable development, we believe that at the end of it all, it is the results we are going for. It is not enough to just do things. If you do things and there are no results, then it is more of futile. But if you do things and you see results, then you can say you are successful. So when we are talking about a success story, we are talking from the point of view that there is something that we can call a result because of what we have initiated or what we have done. And before you get to that result, remember, every initiative begins with an idea. So we are going to hear more of this for more than 1 hour and be ready to engage, be ready to be engaged, be ready to want to know more so that you can get to know what to do in your own life, also to succeed, just like our facilitator will be sharing. I know each one of us in this room has got a success story, and we have a lot of days that we can share our success stories. The whole of January, we will be focusing on success stories and inspiring insights for leaders on what we can do to improve ourselves so that the year 2025 becomes totally different for each one of us. So before we get into the session, let me request my colleague at St. Mary's Mumias Girls. One time ago, I was a high school teacher, and she was one of my buddies. It is none other than, where are you, Sebi? Sebi Sefu. Please unmute yourself. If you can put on your camera, say our opening prayer so that we can start the session.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
My name is Sebi, and I'm glad to be here. Let us all believe and pray. Father, in the mighty name of Jesus Christ, we want to thank you for this organization. We want to thank you for this family that was brought about by our sister, Ambassador Dr. Christine. Father, Lord, you have brought us and put us together for a reason and for a purpose, and all things happen for the good. And I know, Lord, you're in our midst. I ask you, Lord, to continue binding us together, to continue lifting each one of us together. And Lord Jesus Christ, as we learn from each other, let it be a success story. We thank you and we worship you. We ask you to give each one of us good health and strength and good concentration. As we keep together, Lord, be in our midst. In Jesus' name I have prayed. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. Thank you so much. Yeah,
Thank you.
let me share my screen so that we can get started. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yet it's another time we will continue talking about success stories, and today is yet another success story that we want to share. Let me just bring to us our visitor. Dr. Irene. And so before I talk about Dr. Irene, let me just introduce what education for sustainable development is, because there are people who are joining us for the first time since this is a global meeting. Now, education for sustainable development is education that enables kindly, if you have two gadgets together, can you reduce one to minimum? A volume? So that we avoid the echo. That is the only way we can avoid the echo, kindly. And if you can mute yourself, that will be very good for us. So if you have two gadgets, maybe a phone and a laptop, you can have one with volume, the other one without volume. Maybe that way we will be able to communicate. Thank you very much. And so I was talking about education for sustainable development, and I was saying that education for sustainable development is education that enables us to meet our needs today without compromising the ability of the future generation to meet their own needs. Sorry, on this flyer, I've said that I'm from South Africa, but I'm not from South Africa, but I know some bits of South Africa because before I traveled to Canada, the last country I visited was South Africa at Cape Town. And so even as we talk about success stories in education for sustainable development, we are trying to look at what are we doing to help the young people, to help the future generation to prosper, for them to be able to lead a better life in the future. What are we putting in place, or how are we helping them to be the people to be able to take care of themselves when that time comes when we are not going to be there? Because of course, we all know that as days go by, the clock is tickling and minutes are moving, and we are all moving towards one place, and that is the final day of our lives on earth. So it doesn't matter when that time will come. What matters is, what legacy are you going to leave behind? What will you have done to make a difference in this world to enable the people who will remain behind to say, yes, you did something that has enabled them to continue on with their life without any problem? Even as we do this with the Global Alliance for Sustainability in Education, I still wear another hat at Loani, the Leaders of All Nations International, which is also a global team, where we believe that change and transformation is within each one of us, that each leader is capable of transforming the world from their point of contact. Wherever you are, there is something you can do. There is a way you can bring light into the world through the small actions of love that you do. So every time, all the time, when we have meetings with Loani, we will not have meetings with Gase, because if Loani is on board, I am the global coordinator. There will be conflict if I have the two meetings at the same time. So that is why I usually invite you to the Loani meetings so that you can learn from them. And so please, when you get the recordings, go through them, listen to them, and get inspired, because people are doing great things and we are not exceptional. We can also do these great things. And so I want to bring to us a great facilitator. Her name is Dr. Irene Kamara. Dr. Irene Kamara is born into a family of 17 siblings, into extreme poverty on a farm in rural Uganda. Her decisions, particularly her decision to pursue an education despite all obstacles, play a crucial role in breaking the circle of poverty and overcoming strict cultural barriers. Dr. Kamara is an accomplished scientist, educator, author, and speaker with over 22 years experience spanning academia, education, and corporate sectors. She has held positions in South Africa, South Africa's academic and industrial sectors, as an academic advisor at the University of we were we waters we waters. I don't know. The name is a little bit challenging. Lecturer and researcher at the University of Free State, a fuel scientist at Sasol Limited, an oil company in South Africa, and a program manager in STEM education at the Social Luzaso Foundation. She has mentored and supervised master's and doctorate graduates in chemistry. Dr. Kamara has published her research work and peer-reviewed scientific journals and written a book chapter in an veterinary botanical medical book that is herbal medicines for animals. Dr. Kamara is a member of the international peer reviewing community of scientific articles and proposals. She's an author of the self-published autobiography called Corridors of Dream and Hope. She's going to tell us more about this because she's talking about an African girl's lifelong battle for freedom, which is available on Amazon and Zania Bookstore. Dr. Kamara is passionate about transforming lives through education, particularly in underdeserved communities. Starting from a garage as a premise, she co-founded Tlotlanang Combined School in Tabanchu, Free State in South Africa. She's going to tell us more about that. And so Dr. Kamara holds a PhD in organic chemistry, a postgraduate certificate in education, in pedagogics, and certificates in management and TEFL. Dr. Kamara enjoys farming, sewing, motivating people of all ages. She prides herself in her 3 sons and a daughter who have made significant strides in their careers and lives. She is a proud mother. She is proud to say that her family is her greatest treasure. So let us join hands to welcome Dr. Kamara to speak to us. Welcome, Doc. Please unmute yourself. Where did she go again? Dr. Kamara, where are you? I can see you are there, but you don't have a mic. Maybe you can leave the meeting. I don't know if you can hear us. Let me talk to her. Maybe you can leave the meeting and join again. Dr. Kamara?
And then when joining, she needs to click on the microphone. I think she might have forgot that part.
Oh, the microphone. Maybe,
Yes.
Director, you can keep the meeting engaged as I talk to her on phone.
Okay, great. So probably I might just have to ask if there's any person who has something that is burning, based on probably what we did, the story of Dr. Irene Mwenda, or any other thing that you have wanted or that you've seen interesting in our Sunday sessions. Yeah, you just unmute and you can say something so that I don't have to follow a certain
Dr.
protocol for
Christine.
that. Yes, come on, what?
I am on camera now. Let me. Oh yeah, I'm back there. I can see myself.
Great.
You're good. You're good. You're good.
I hope I'll be there. I won't go away because I was using my phone now.
Okay,
Let
fine.
me
You're
switch it
welcome.
off.
Maybe you can turn your phone around so that you can have a bigger screen.
I can see myself on the main screen now.
Yeah, I'm saying you turn your phone like this. We want to see you. We want to see you on full screen.
All right. Wait a minute. Yeah. Okay. I see myself on the computer.
Yes, you're right. Okay, continue. Let me not waste a lot of time with that. Okay, let's continue. It's your time
Okay, can
now.
you see me now? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that. And I've gone now, so I think I'll use the phone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, okay. I can't see the picture. I don't know why, but let's continue in the interest of time.
If you put your phone in front of you, definitely we will be able to see you. Yeah.
Okay, let me switch off the audio here. And then go on to the phone.
Okay.
But I see myself on the screen there with other people.
Yes. Yeah, we are all here.
Okay, I put it here. Okay, can you
Yeah,
see
that
me
is
now?
good. Now you have a wider screen.
All right, okay. I think in the interest of time, I'm so sorry, guys. I was thinking of South African time. We are 1 hour behind. So I thought I had an hour, but let's dive in immediately. And can I share my screen on, I don't know whether that will go through, what I had prepared, some pictures to tell the story, because they say picture speaks 1,000 words.
Yeah, you can share using your laptop if your laptop is there.
Okay.
Yeah,
It
just
is
share using your laptop.
It is
Yeah.
here. That's why I logged in. I could hear you, but I couldn't see you. Okay, let me do that. Let's see. Have you given me permission? Yeah, let me share.
I have.
All right, share. Let's see. I need. Why is it giving me screens? I need share. Let's see. There it is. Okay, I also have a child here, so if you hear something,
Good
can you
job.
see it?
Good job. Yes,
Is that
we can
okay?
see it.
Can you see me now? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Sorry about the technology. Sometimes it lets us down, but I'll start immediately. I think, yeah, that's better. Let me put it here so that I can see myself as well. Okay. I'm not going to go through the introduction, but as they told you, I was born in Uganda. I left home at a very early age, and one of the things that made me leave my home was politics. Unfortunately, we are part of it. You have to escape and see where you can go. So my journey, I called it From Struggle to Strength, How Education Transformed My Life. On that page, on that slide, you can see the cover of my book, as Dr. Christine said. It's available in Amazon and on Zania, in Zania bookstores. Okay. Although Dr. Christine talked about the context of ESD, I will look at it from a different perspective. First of all, I'll look at it as what is it that it does for us? Mainly, what are the advantages of that, and compare that to the disadvantages. And where we come in with the disadvantages is that's where we have to look, and where we have what are the issues that are impeding this ESD. So first of all, we all know, most of us, probably everyone who is here today, is coming from a poverty, a poor background. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm sorry, I apologize for that. But it addresses poverty and inequality. It emphasizes the importance of inclusive and equitable education systems. I think I can go to the main screen slideshow and put in the bigger stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That is what I thought you
that
could do.
better?
Yes. Yes, that
Is
is
that
better.
better?
Far much
Okay.
better. Yes.
All right. So first of all, it is inclusive, and the reason I put this context in the background of my story is because I am a product of sort of ESD in a way, and we have used ESD to improve people's lives through education, including my own family, my children, who I'm so proud of. So it encourages sustainable agriculture and practices, among other things. But most importantly, we are here to empower the youth. We have gone through it, we know the story, and we are trying to make sure that the youth and the generations to come have find education in a very in a good state. At the moment in Africa, we all know very well that a lot of countries are struggling with education systems. I know for sure in Uganda there's a big problem with education system. I've looked on I'm on social media. I see on Facebook they post Malawi, all of us, especially in the rural areas. So we have the onus is on us to make sure that this education system does not go even lower than what it is. We have gone back so many years. Most countries, not all countries. So what is the challenge? What are we going to do as educators or as people who are in the education system? What are our challenges? We are resource constrained. We lack adequate infrastructure, and that's sometimes beyond our control, but there's something we can do through ESD. There are cultural and socioeconomic issues, and as you'll see, all of us have suffered from those, especially a girl child. Things have changed so far up to now, but there's been a lot of that. A lot of fights are still going on. How do you empower the girl child? Political instability is another problem we have in the whole of Africa. I won't go there. I don't want to say I'm not a politician, but my focus is to empower people through education. Okay, so where do I come from? Now I'll start with my story. I have two stories to tell you. The first one, they're intertwined. The first one is actually about me, how I came from, where I came from to where I am. And the key factor there was education. Every time I was going down, I had to pick up education to improve myself. So, and then using that, I realized when I moved here, education was really not what we thought for African people. I came to South Africa during apartheid. I could see Dr. Christine is struggling with those names. Actually, the university is Witwatersrand. I didn't expect you to say that. So it's Afrikaans. It is an Afrikaans university, so you can see W is V, so it's Witwatersrand. And it's one of the top institutions or university in South Africa. I think it's Wits, and in Africa and Cape Town. The two are almost equal to each other. And then we've come here, like I said, there are two stories, but let me start with myself before I talk about the school, because I think everybody can learn from that. However, my story also can encourage a lot of people to pick up their lives and say, okay, a lot of you are much younger than me. I believe so. Maybe there are some people who are my age, but I think the majority are young people. So I want you guys to see that education can still change your lives. I think that's the message I want to put forward. In Africa, yes. And how are we going to be part of that as educators? So I come from humble beginnings. As you can see those pictures there, that's where I grew up in Uganda. That's my father. And in the bottom left from my bottom right is my mom. These are my parents never went to school, like most of, I think, of our parents. So they didn't even know how to read and write their names. How did I get here? And as you saw, I come from a family of 17 siblings. So my father had a second wife. So my mother had 11 children, and I was the firstborn. She didn't know how to write. How did she achieve that? So I come really, really from humble beginnings, where the cows have the right of way. I'm very sure many people relate to that. So my parents are my heroes. How are they my heroes? Even though they didn't know how to write or read, they knew, especially my mom. She said, my daughter, education will change your life. And I believe her, because as I went on, I could realize how my life was changing. So I want us to realize that why I say this is that we are working with people in rural areas, in places where people have never gone to school. These parents, how do we empower them so that they can actually be part of the ESD? Because with them, you can go a long way. My mom would find books, I don't know how, because we didn't have television, we didn't have anything. I won't dive in that, it's all in my book. However, she knew that education can change your life. So it starts with an idea. I think Dr. Christine spoke about that. And it also starts with you having, as I will go on tell you, what are the key factors I did or what I followed to get where I am, or to get my children where they are. I'll talk about my children, my blessings, to tell you how from nothing they have achieved so much. So first of all, faith and hard work. We worked very hard. We worked on the farm. Before you go to school, you walk 6 kilometers, but you first go on the farm in the morning before you walk there. You were always late, no shoes. You know, the story is, I think, very familiar to a lot of people. And then I get my first degree. I couldn't even believe it. You know, I did so well that I got school. I was always late when I went to boarding school. It was very, very difficult for me because we didn't have money. So I would go to boarding school maybe a month later. I had always to catch up with everything, but I did well. I got a scholarship those days, and I went to Makerere University to study bachelor's, a BSc in chemistry and biochemistry, which I completed in record time. I even got honors. And what kept on motivating me, you can't underestimate the power of motivation. Even if you motivate these people in your program, just to share your story, you can't undermine your story. So I urge people, as you talk to people, it's okay to share your story, and it can make a whole lot of difference. That's what I've used in my education career as an educator, as a lecturer, and I promise you I won an award as best lecturer in chemistry in an Afrikaans university. Don't ask me how I did that, but you read my book if you want to. And how did I do that? I shared my story. I asked one of my students, how did I become, what did I do so good about, with you? What did I do good for you that made me, become a good lecturer? You know what he told me? He didn't tell me you taught us so much chemistry, you did that. He told me you cared. So guys, one of the key things to survive in ESD is to care. It's fundamental for you to achieve your dreams. Then I went on we moved to South Africa. I had only one degree and one child. I met my husband in university. He was a medical doctor. I had just a BSc. For political instability, we moved to South Africa, first in Zambia for a year, and then we moved to South Africa because Zambia couldn't get a job. So when we got to South Africa, I couldn't get a job still because women were not allowed to work. We who came from outside, because we were accompanying husbands. So I said, okay, what do I do now? And now I started getting more children till I got 4. I looked for menial jobs, which I couldn't really get. It wasn't easy because we were really, really discriminated because we were foreigners. Blacks discriminated us, whites discriminated us. But I said, okay, now what do we do? This is now where my second story comes in, or the one of having starting a school. So I tried, and eventually, okay, the story goes on. I will keep on talking about both of them. I became a single parent. Eventually, my husband went back. I stayed here in residence. I went back to university, studied for a master's after 13 years. That's why I said never, never give up. Of not being in education, I went back and started my master's at an Afrikaans university. When I say Afrikaans, the medium of instructions was a local language, which is Afrikaans, a white people's language. So I could barely, in the meetings, they could tell me, you know, somebody will interpret for you. But there's nothing as powerful as focus and the power of discipline and knowing your goal. And that's what I talk about today. What made me survive? I had 4 children. I had to go back because my marriage was not stable. I write about that also in my book. I could feel that what is it that I need in life? So you have to be very clear of your goals. I needed to make sure my mother made sure I had an education. I needed to make sure my children get a good education. How I was going to do that, I didn't know. So eventually before I became a single parent, I was already at university. I studied my master's, my PhD, and my higher education diploma, which is a PGCE, in 4.5 years. And I was a parent. So there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. It's a mind power. If you decide you want to do something, it doesn't matter. It can look like a mountain, but if you decide and you focus, you will do it. So I went on. I think I'll continue now to see. I think it was the school. Oh, these are my children. Okay, the first one on, the first two, the one in a striped shirt is my firstborn. These children. The reason I say why education is key to change is because my children they have achieved. Each of them has more than 1 degree. Most of them, they are 2 engineers. There is an architect, and then there's one in commerce. So education can break the cycle of intergenerational poverty. My mother started it, and she broke that intergenerational poverty. Did she have money? No, she didn't have money. But what did she have? She had a dream. I urge you to go and clearly define your dream. Clearly define your dream. Don't ask yourself, oh, I can't do this because I don't have money. That is irrelevant. First, think of your dream. Be clear. If you know where you are going, you'll get there. You'll get the blessings. I promise you'll get there. So I'm from a very poor background family. I was the first one to get a degree on my mother's side. At least the people I knew. I don't think the people before me had those degrees. And we had nothing. So you can. That's why I say my children, my son, one of them, I will talk about them briefly, each one of them, before I go into the school, because they are the pioneers of the school we started. So education can lead to acquisition of skills, drive economic growth, and improve health and well-being. We all want to live well. We all want to be better people. But with Africa, we are still very poor, whether we like it or not. There are people who are rich, they have the money, but a lot of us are still struggling. And we don't want our children to struggle like that. And I've fought hard. I've fought that. And I think I've achieved that. I achieved my goal. My goal, my primary goal, I share it in my book as well, is to make sure my children never suffer like the way I suffered. So was it easy? No. Did I achieve it? Yes. And that's what I will share with you. And how did I achieve it? Through education. How big was my part? It was enormous because I played a big part there. And you have to play that part. Maybe it's not your child. Maybe it's not but it's somebody you can help. So The boy who is in a striped shirt is my firstborn. His name is Edmond. He studied architecture here. And then from there, he studied animation. He edited my book. And then he is now doing project management. He stays here with me in South Africa, not in my house, but there in Joburg. He's married. He has one child. The girl at the bottom is my second born. She's in the UK. She's now a citizen there. She studied BCom as her first degree. And then she went to the UK like her mom. 13 years or 15 years later, she has just completed her degree in public health with honors. I was there last month for her graduation. She has 3 children. The third one, by the way, they are citizens now in the UK. The third one on top, his name is Samuel. He is in San Francisco. He has 4 degrees. His first degree is engineering, electromechanical from Cape Town. The second degree is Chartered Financial Analyst, CFA. That's in finance. He did that online. He passed with cum laude. The second degree, third one is at Stanford University. He got a scholarship. I didn't have money to pay for all these kids, but they got scholarships. I had a dream. I had a dream, guys. And because I had that dream, everything was possible. Was it easy? No. Did it happen? Yes. And then his other degree was also a master's from Stanford University in environmental engineering. Actually studied the 2 degrees, MBA and MSc environmental engineering at the same time. In 2 years, he completed them. He's now a citizen in America. He has worked for Tesla, Goldman Sachs. Now he's working for SoftBank as a chief financial officer. So the last born is also an engineer, electromechanical from UCT. He also passed with honors. He has done project management, and now he's doing MBA with one of, I think, Gibbs. And he's a head of department at Walland Parsons, and is an engineering company here in South Africa, but it's an American engineering company. They have a branch here. Okay, so why do I talk about these children? The first one was one of the pioneers of the school we started. We were 4 parents. Okay, let me see my next slide. We were 4 parents. When we were all foreigners. Okay, we don't have to go through this. Let's go to the next one. This is okay. This is how you'll achieve it. Let me give you the context of the school we started. We were 4 parents, and we were foreigners in South Africa. We were in a rural area in South Africa called Tabanchu. Then our children were ready for school then. It was apartheid time. They didn't want Black people to attend white schools. Yet the education system was not was really bad for the African people. So blacks, they used to call them Black schools, were really bad. Actually, my son, my firstborn Edmond, actually attended for a year in one of the schools. First of all, it was in their local language. Secondly, it was very, very poor because we had been educated in East Africa and it was totally different. So we said, okay, what do we do with our children? Now we are here, we have to work. We can't go home. So we said, well, let's start a school. And we didn't have money. I actually I didn't have a job yet. I was sewing because I couldn't get a job. I was accompanying husband according to the papers we had. So I had to now make sure I make money through my sewing. And then we said, okay, what do? We all don't have money. My colleagues were doctors, 2 of them. The other one was a teacher, actually. So we were 4. We said, let's start a school. How do we start it? One of our colleagues, Dr. Tlotlanang, said, let's start in my garage. I'll offer my garage as a premise. And the garage, now we had 4 children. We needed a teacher. I added on my daughters, so they became 5. Because she finished her degree at the age of 19 because she started very early. She didn't want to stay home. We collected money. We started paying this teacher. She actually passed on. She was teaching our children. We were prescribing, describing the curriculum, what we needed to be taught, and she would teach. She was a qualified teacher. We didn't have enough money, so what did we do? We went fundraising. We were selling food on the street. The local food here is known in the locations where the poor people stay is a pap, which is maize meal, plus they call it malamuhud, which is the intestines. So we cooked that. We would stand there on the street. These were doctors. They had professions. And we cooked and we sell them on weekends. We sell that to raise money to keep our school going. So a year ended and we said, now what? These children are supposed to move forward. What do we do next? So we decided, okay, how do we do this? Now we started advertising, going to the people in the community, trying to fundraise, knocking at doors. Everybody knew us and they thought we were pompous. We didn't want their education. But in the end, they realized actually these people are talking sense. So we kept on knocking. They throw us out. We sell, we ask people for old clothes. We sell them. We do jumbo sales. We did everything we could to raise money. And of course, those who are working, they would take from their salary to add on. So after a year, we had more children now joining us. We had more parents. So we moved into an old church. I think I have that on one of my slides. This is the school, actually. That's how it looks now. That's our school. So this was the anniversary. We started this school in 1988, and it's still there. They have a high school. And we didn't make any money out of it because we wanted our children to go to school. I didn't attend this occasion. It happened a month ago. It is a bit far from where I am now, but on that stone, our names are there. We were the founders. We are the founders of that school. So we went to a church. They gave us an extra room. Do you see, if you have a dream, our dream, all of us, was our children should have the best education. Said, okay, we put in everything, every effort we could get. So they gave us an old church, some rooms there. Now we had our children two grades. Ours had moved to grade 2. The other one, no, not grade 2. They were, not grade 2, but anyway, they moved a class ahead. Now we said, okay, now they're leaving preschool. What next? We need space. We didn't have money. We're still knocking, moving from door to door. We went on to the municipality. That's why partnership is important. I talk about that. You start, you fundraise, you form partnerships, and then you leverage on community engagement. So we formed partnership. We went to government and said, look, we need help. Now we have these kids. We have started a school. You see, if you start something, government will pick you up somewhere. Unless, these days, Africa, people have changed. But government wants things which work. So we approached the government, said, we need help. Can you help us at least pay the teacher? Because now we had to get more teachers. And then they said, okay, we won't only do that. We'll also give you space in the municipality. So our school moved to the municipality. I think I have that somewhere, to the municipality. Yeah, we started from a garage to a church, to municipality. And then we moved to the school. How did we move to the school premises? Mandela came out of jail. When he came out of jail after his 27 years of being there, the place we are living in, the owners of the school where they refused our children to attend because they were Black, moved because they were white people and they were afraid Black people would attack them because they had treated them badly. So we approached government and asked the government if they could give us half of the premises so that we can have more space for the school. The government agreed because now it was the Black people's government, and we moved in. As soon as we moved in, those people left. So we acquired those premises. It's a full school. It had everything, the libraries, so it was already going. So can you see what I'm telling you? It's not about luck. It's about doing what you have to do and focusing. Double focus on your goal. You won't lose.
And I can also see a lot of passion, Dr. Irene, a lot of passion.
Thank you. So we focused and we double focused. I'm telling you, I was the treasurer for, I think, about 10 years. We were collecting the little money. I didn't have money, but that little money, I looked after it. We had to pay the teachers. We had to do what? And every week we had meetings. We had to go there in the evenings to make sure we, when we got those premises, what did we get? We had now a premises, and the government also said, okay, we'll pay the teachers. He said, really? You'll pay the teachers? Great. Now we had an established school. Then what did we do? We had to start now employing people. So we had the principal, we got a guy, he was from Zimbabwe, he was a white man, well-spoken. He was already a principal, he had experience. We needed somebody who had experience and not a local person, because those people were already against us. So we got a neutral person. And we employed people. We had a lot of foreign teachers there from Ghana, Nigeria. Every year we would add a class because we wanted the quality to stay the same. So we had 2 streams, grade 1, grade 2. I mean, grade 1A, 1B. And our children were breaking the barriers every time, moving forward. They were ahead of everybody. So by the time they finished the primary school, now we didn't know, because we had to start a high school. That was another process. The first ones, they had to leave the school. We took them to other schools. Now Mandela was out, so you could go in white schools. So I took my children to one of the best schools, Grey College in Bloemfontein. It's a very renowned school for sports, very, very good. My children were the first Black children there. They did so well. They became prefects. They had the discipline because they knew I told them education. Now I was a single parent. I take care of them, and I was studying at the same time. So I also went back to university to improve myself. So we were both, me and my children were students. We go home. I work late hours to finish 2 degrees and almost 3 degrees in 4.5 years, where you have to do research in chemistry. Was not easy. It was really, really a challenge with 4 children to take care of. So, but anyway, we walked through that journey. At the end of the day, the school opened up a high school. Now I moved to a nearby town where I was at university with my children, but we're still helping with the school. We kept on helping them. I made the first set of uniforms, not even first set, for about 2 years, because I taught myself how to sew and how to make clothes to survive and how to knit jerseys, because South Africa has winter. We were living near Lesotho, so I had to make those jerseys, and I made money out of them. I'm an entrepreneur in a way. I even ended up buying a car, a combi from sewing. So anyway, I made the uniforms. They are still there because in those days, Black people wore black clothes and the white people could choose any color. We said, no, our children, it's our school. We are not gonna put them in black. So we started with check white. And when I go home, I made some little money off it, make for the girls. They looked really cute. So we went on, and then they continued. Now, what is the moral of the story? So the moral, you can see there, I get my PhD. When I returned, it was 13 years of being out of university. And I was the first Black woman in that group. That other guy just joined me after. It was really hard. But the point is, there is no journey without hurdles. Remember that. You will always find something holding you back. My point here, I am here to motivate you guys. You can't fail if you put your mind to it. Maybe that project you are doing is really dragging itself. Don't give up yet. Find a way to talk to people. Maybe I'm the one who will change your mind. You will help you. Sometimes you just listen to somebody and things work out. Okay, so it doesn't mean that it's not working now, it won't work. Educators are passionate people. They love education and they know they can make a difference. I know in Africa, it's really hard for somebody to start education, especially East Africa, for sure, I know that. I don't know about Nigeria, but I know about East Africa. And I tried to start a school in East Africa. I failed because I'm passionate about education. The systems couldn't allow me crossover. I mean, pass through and get what I wanted to do. So I still want to do that. That's one of my next goals. I still want us to start to examine, as you will see my last slide. I don't know how much time I have, Dr. Christine. Please tell me. Because I can talk. That's my attribute. So please tell me how far
you still have some time. You still have some time. Just tell us your story. We want to be inspired.
Okay, so when I finished, let me go back a bit first. When I finished, no, not here. I want to go back. Why did it go off? Okay, I'm going back. I want to be on this slide. Yeah. So when I went to, after I finished university, guys, it was really hard for me. And now I was a single parent. I didn't have a job for 2 years with a PhD in chemistry. Why didn't I have that? Because I was a Black foreigner in South Africa. I moved, I knocked from door to door. I was almost deported because I didn't have papers. And I never gave up. What did I do? I actually did menial jobs. I went to church. I got food from church to feed my children because I was now alone. I did everything I could. I prayed every day. You know, I could pray. My children were eating one meal, but I made sure they were in the best school, by the way. I went and pleaded with the principal and said, you know, that white school, I have 3 children, the boys. It was a boys' school. Can you please help me? So my boys, they were very, very strong. They were very focused. We worked as a family. So it's very important to encourage parents because you are leaders here. Everybody here is a leader. It's very important to encourage parents. Hold them to parents' meeting. Don't tell them what to do. Let them be part of it. So I went to the school. I begged the principal. He was a white man. My children were doing so well. That's one thing. So sometimes a year they would get a bursary to study free because the boy would be the best in mathematics. He would say, Mommy, I'll work very hard so that I get a bursary to help you. I said, good. Then because in primary education and high school, they don't give you these bursaries, company bursaries. No, it starts in university. So I had to work very hard. We helped each other. So family is fundamental for ESD, guys. It's very, very important. And then with that, my children did well. They became prefects. And because I had a dream, I always take people back. Because I've done academic advising, I tell my students, listen here, you must know where you are going. You must be clear of your dream. So my dream was my children to survive, to have the best, not just survive, to have the best. Okay. So I would make sure, because I had that and God knew that I want that. When God knows you are very clear and you are putting in effort, I got permanent residence. I couldn't believe it. And guess how I got it? I just went to see a friend. It's a long story, but cut it short. And this friend of mine said, look, he knew about my work, my problems, because we were studying together. He was a Ghanaian man. And he told me his wife was dying. Actually, she passed away. May her soul rest in peace. She had sickle cell anemia. So I went to see her. Sometimes being kind can lead, God might send you somewhere and you think I don't have money. Why do I have to do that? No, be kind. Be kind to people. You don't know who will help you. So this guy gave me a number, told me call Pretoria. We are now about 1,000 kids from Pretoria, and asked them about your papers. I heard on the radio, listen to that. I heard on the radio that you will, foreigners' papers are being mismanaged. So I called on a call box, by the way, on a call box. I didn't have a phone. We didn't have, even in the house, I didn't have a phone. So I called them, these guys fortunately answered. They told me write a motivation and send it to us. I posted it. I had an email, but I posted. They said post it. I posted it. About 3 months down the line, they gave me permanent residence, me and my children. And guess what? I was so scared because I thought I didn't have the money to pay for it. It was around that. Those days was very expensive. I think 10,000 per person. I needed 50,000 rands. That's a lot of money. I didn't have even food on the table. And the woman told me, no, you don't have to pay. You're exempted. We didn't pay cent. I can't believe that. Even now,
Wow.
I praise
Wow.
God to that, guys. I praise God. I didn't know how I was going to do it. All I told God, please help me stay here and take care of my children. That's all I asked him. And I just kept on doing good whatever I could. I didn't pay. I still have the papers to testify to that. They said you're exempted, you and your 4 children. And they told me, all you need to do, take ID photos, go to Home Affairs and get ID documents. When I got the ID document, when I got those papers, I went back to the same university where I studied because we were staying down the road, and then told them we were staying in a flat because that flat we couldn't even afford. One time they came and they took our furniture because it was a government flat. We were sleeping on the floor. My children, I was struggling with 4 children without money. Being a foreigner is a hard job. So, but I never gave up. The point is never give up, guys. Never give up. So my children understood. I communicated. They knew when you have a little money, we share it. We ask, okay, what do we do first? No, this one, the shoes are really torn. Let's buy this one. And they were going to prestigious schools, but they wore old uniforms because here they sell old uniforms until they left school. And they were really, they were very good boys. They are good boys, and my daughter too. So anyway, they gave me, when I got my papers, I went to the head of department and said, Prof, I have my papers here. Now I'm going for an interview to another university. I was always going for interviews. I didn't have papers. And then a guy in church also said, because the priest sometimes talk about your problems to some people, those you think will help you, not everybody. So in church, I opened up to the priest, and he would give me the food, as I said, and sometimes some little money, go buy the children milk or buy something to, tinned scarf and what. So he gave me somebody to work with me everywhere I went for interviews. You know why? Because this guy would tell them, as soon as she has paper, the job will get her papers. This was a white man working with me. So God will give you guidance, guys. Don't give up. Don't think God is sleeping. He's awake. But you have to have faith, absolute faith. So when I went back to fast forward, went back to the principal, to the head of department, I told him, Prof, I have my papers now. If you don't give me a job, I will go to University of Pretoria. I have an interview. They have booked a plane for me, the flight. I get that job, I'm not coming back. I knew my value as well. Know your value. I was good. I was good at what I was doing.
Wow.
So, yeah, you need to know your value, guys. You need to know your value. Don't let people bring you down.
Wow.
Sometimes people talk to you badly. They make you feel bad. I really didn't care about anybody who didn't add value to my life. If something doesn't add value to your life, drop it.
Oh.
People will talk. Whether you keep quiet, whether you stay in your house, they will talk. So ignore them. They add nothing to your life. If it doesn't add value, when you go back, cancel it. It's not worth it. So I went back the next day. When I went back, because I was doing menial jobs, helping one of the other professors to do some work for them. They give me some little money so that I can buy food for my children. I met the professor. He came to me, shook my hand. He said, congratulations, you have a job. Can you believe it?
Wow.
One day I get the permanent residence. The next day I have a job. I said, now I'm done. I have a permanent residence. I have a job. There's nothing. It wasn't I was a junior lecturer, but I had a job. That's the important thing. My children were so happy. We cried because we were really overjoyed. I was with my daughter. We cried so much. We couldn't believe it because they were about to deport me. So from there, I went to my boys got bursaries. They started on big bursaries, the beers, Anglo Call, because they were very good. They were very good. So they got bursaries. The older ones, I got a job in the university. The university was paying for them. That's how I managed to pay for my children. And I had to support the people at home. I was supporting my mom. My mom is still alive. My siblings, because I knew what they were going through. So I worked extra. I didn't abandon my family. Even up to now, I'm still supporting them. So do good. That's another thing. Be kind. You don't have to pay money. Be kind to people. Just be kind. So I helped a lot of students. Then a friend of mine said, look, come to Sasso. He was a white man again. You see, there were some good white men. And said, come and join Sasso. Now they were paying more money. I was really struggling now. The children were all in university, except the last born. And it was tough. So the lecturer's salary was good, but it was there, but it wasn't enough. So I went to Sasso. I was headhunted because I was a good worker. The guy knew me. He called me. I was not even in the country. I'd gone for a conference overseas. And he waited for me and said, bring your papers, even when they are closed. Papers. I know you fit in this team. So when you work like it's your what? It's your job, your company. Don't look, you never know who is watching you. That guy headhunted me. I'm just a black woman. This is a white man. There are many white people there. And he collected me. I started working at Sasso. Now I could even help my children better, but I still loved education, guys. I left Sasso after 10 years. Okay, I didn't leave it completely. I joined the foundation, Sasso Inzalo Foundation. By the way, Sasso makes petrol from coal. It's the biggest company which does petrol from coal to liquid or gas to liquid, liquid being the diesel, the everything. So I worked on jet fuel, one of my projects. They were the first people to fly airplanes on CTL, that's coal to liquid, from petrol, not the normal, the one you dig up. This one is made from coal. And South Africa uses 50% of its fuel comes from that. So diesel and what, I made a lot of formulas I've published on that diesel. So anyway, I got a job there, I worked, and then eventually I said, no, I'm going back to education. So they opened the foundation. I worked in the foundation. I worked in African, that foundation was promoting STEM education in African disadvantaged universities. So I traveled the whole of Africa. Every day I was either on the flight or driving, going to promote chemistry in these universities. I was working with the tertiary sector. So I really did well, and that's where partnership comes in. They gave me only 5 million to work in 7 universities, I think. How many students can you promote for that? So I had to form partnerships. So I went on to the government. I asked the government, look, because government doesn't want to partner with private sector, but I formed a private government sector partnership. So I went to them, I said, look, we want to promote education in this university. Of course, I had the background, research, everything. You want more PhDs, African people. And this is the problem. This is their story. They don't have this, they don't have that. You do your research. And when I got there, I joined I was also helping them to do their evaluations for, like, I'm on the scientific panels and what. They said, okay, what do we have to do? I wrote memorandums of understanding with them, and they actually, the money was not only doubled. We started off with 15 students. I ended up having about 70 students in the program, improving the honors to PhD throughput. So my students, I actually spoke to one yesterday. She's working in one of the companies. She has a PhD. A lot of them come back to me because they are my friends. I make friendship with them. I take care of them as a mom. They know I used to cook them food and take to them. Those who I was supervising, they eat a good meal on Saturday. And I didn't have money, so I was just sharing what I had. So sharing is very important. So I know how to form partnerships. I've actually started my non-profit organization. COVID interrupted with it. It's called Young Global Entrepreneurs. We have a website. My son developed it. I didn't put it on my bio because we're a bit quiet now. But I joined Global Giving, looking for money to help people improve skills, agriculture skills in South Africa. South Africa is very hard to farm, guys. We are blessed in East Africa. I started farming here. We failed with my son. It's difficult, it's tough, and it's monopolized by the white people. So a black person is very difficult. So, but at the end of the day, what is my message? My message, there's a lot I've done, but I've just, I think that's what I've said today is a good overview. What was your role in ESD? Because we are under ESD, we want to develop Africa, guys. We want to develop our people. We are tired of begging. And we can do it. We have everything. Why are we not doing it? I am talking to the converted, the people who are here. How do we convince other people? We need to start doing that. How do we involve the young people? And we don't want to pay them. We don't have the money to pay them. How do we get them to be part of these projects? This is something we can think about. So, but where you are now as an individual, write down your goals. Like I told you, I was very clear. Up to now, I'm very clear about my goals, especially with my children. They still need to add on a bit more. They're doing okay. I feel they are doing well, but they can do better. They can also be better parents. They are all having children, but we can do better. So I know I've broken the intergenerational poverty. That one is broken. There's no question about that. And started with my mother. It starts with little things. Don't underestimate the little you are doing. Then start where you are. Don't wait to get a lot of money. We started in a garage, guys. In a garage. 4 parents with 5 children. We got our chairs from our house and put them there. Okay? So you don't have to wait to build a school. No, start where you are. And get the community involved. Maintain focus and discipline. Discipline means do something every day about your dream. Every day do something. Okay? And collaborate. Form partnerships where you can. If you can't, it's still okay. Somewhere, somehow, you'll get there. But companies, go look for funders. I know a lot of people in Kenya, they have projects because I read. I go to this. Be a reader. Read. Educate yourself every day. And then for Africa, let's duplicate the good which is there already. There are some Dr. Irene last week, the 2 Irenes there, we are telling you what to do. Dr. Irene told us she has a good project. Can we replicate that? We can do the same, make it work. These Nokias, they get the brand one and they replicate them and we buy them. How can we package those ideas so that we can actually get something out? This is a prototype. We can sell it over Africa. It's not as easy as it sounds, but it can be done. So, and then let's reevaluate our educational model on Africa, on Africa's continent. Our continent is different from Europe. I believe we are not teaching our children the right, the education we are giving them is good, but is not relevant to us. Why are we still reading Shakespeare? Tell me, why do you have to teach your child Shakespeare? Where are they going to speak that English? We have so many authors. I see books there on Zania. They are African books. They have everything we need. How do we convince governments to start buying our books? My book is actually approved in South Africa. It's in part of it, can be ordered by schools. They have put some in their libraries, but it's not a good, it's not good enough for me. I need it to go further. How do I do that? So how do we get our children? Because this is our stories. How this is, you can't tell me about Romeo and Juliet. Who is Romeo and Juliet? We all did Romeo and Juliet. For what? So let's see how we can get how can we get our children, our schools, our education. The white man came and they told us a lot of things. Yes, some of them are good, really. I can't say they are not good. But how many African people have you had who are inventors? There are many. There are many, I'm telling you. But we are not doing it for us. We make we are farmers. A lot of Africa's farms, it has diamonds, it has all those things. Coffee, we have the best coffee in Africa, in the world. But we sell it to them as a raw material. They process it, they bring it back. I hate that thing. How can we start our systems? And we don't have to start big. I know we have some corrupt politicians, but you know what? You can't stop apples from rotting, but you take out the rotten one and continue. So I believe that is the talk we should have in the future. Do we have to have everybody have a PhD? I don't think so. There are some people who are born entrepreneurs. How can we support them? And how can we, especially people in this African Union, I believe they are letting us down, because this is where these stories should be spoken, and we have these things. We have our education. Somebody can get milk and process it. Somebody can get groundnuts and process them into peanut butter, We can do that. Or coffee. Africa, cocoa, if we can do that, Africa is rich. They go process it, bring back Nescafe, we buy it 10 times more, even more than that. This is where we are failing. And what is ESD, I believe, can do that. Honestly, I believe it can do that. And we can do it. We may look like we are small, but how do we get Dr. Christine? You are the one here driving this vehicle. I challenge you. I don't know how you will do that to get us to speak the same language when it comes to when it comes to working together. Yeah, you have a big job to do here. Yeah.
Our language in Africa maybe could be Ubuntu, but globally, I don't know which language you're gonna take.
No, when I talk about the language in education, let me clarify that. Education in the education language, we have to speak the same voice.
Yes. And that is why we are having these dialogues, Dr. Irene, because I believe the educators on this platform have got the ability to speak the same language so that we can transform education for everyone. It is possible. It can be done. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you have actually opened this, opened this door. And I think I'm so grateful that I happened to log in last week, because I just saw a message. I said, oh, I like education. Let me log in. I came late, but because I had some things I was doing, I had visitors and what, so I didn't know my children were here. I said, okay. But when I looked, I said, I didn't know about it. I just joined. But I'm so glad I did. I think that's what we should. First of all, we must have the same goal. Okay. I know me working alone, I can do something. But as a team, somebody wrote here, I saw something passing, partnerships. I think we can go a long way, guys. We can do very well. And let me tell you, Europe, America, all these countries, they feed on us, whether you like it or not. It's the bitter truth. We give them all the food, the gold, everything. They bring back diamonds. Yeah, diamond rings. That has to stop. But it starts with us. And don't underestimate the power you have. You guys have power. So I don't know. I think I've said my piece. Oh, this is my beautiful photo. Do you see that first one? When the first time I went to the city, that's the first time I wore shoes. And
Wow.
my mom, because of her dream, you must have an education. She sent me to my uncle. We are living in a small house there. My uncle was a policeman. It's a long story. I eventually felt very sick. At that age, I would go to the market, buy food, come back and cook and do everything. So in Kampala. So I left that. I went back to, I went to university. There is my first degree. I got my first degree, and then that is my last degree, my PhD with my children.
Wow.
Those are engineers, architects.
Wow.
You can see there I was very broke. Look at their shoes. Oh man, that guy who is wearing those turkeys is now, hey, he has bought a house in San Francisco. Big house.
Wow.
You know how
Wow.
much that costs. Mm-hmm. He's a citizen. We went to his wedding in San Francisco. We flew there. He bought, yeah, it was amazing. Yeah.
What an inspiring story, Dr. Irene. Thank you for coming our way. We are so blessed to have you. God had a reason for bringing you in at this time, immediately after the other inspiring story from Dr. Irene Mwenda. I don't know, there is something in the name, Irene. You will tell us later on another day.
Don't
A special
Yeah.
that.
name.
Please go name your
Ah,
children Irene. Irene,
Yeah.
those who are still getting children, call them Irene.
yes, I
Oh,
have a cousin called Irene, and oh my goodness, she's also awesome. I think, I don't
Irene
know
is
what
a breast name like
members
that.
in the room can say about this story. Are you inspired? Remember, we keep saying, tell your story to inspire, because sharing is inspiring. Some people
yeah.
that when you share your story, you are being proud. No, no, no.
No,
Please share your stories. Inspire as many people as you can. You never know which heart you're going to touch. You never
absolutely.
know which life you're going to change just
Absolutely.
because you shared your story. So let us share our stories and share your story with pride. And remember what Dr. Irene has just told us, know your value. I'm taking this home, Dr. Irene. I have to understand my value. I'm not going to accept anyone to intimidate me going forward. I'm not going to
Yeah.
accept anyone to look down upon me going forward, because
Yes.
I know my value.
Yes.
And friends, let us collaborate.
God
Collaboration.
didn't, God
Collab-
didn't create no junk.
yes, let us collaborate more and compete less. We are failing because of the spirit of competition. In your family, you are struggling to look like you're going to be the best. You have to be seen to be the best. You don't want to help because you don't want anybody to defeat you. Dr. Irene has just challenged us. Be kind, be ready to give. Work as though that work you're doing in that office, that work you're doing in that home is your own business. Yeah? Be the boss. Look like you are the boss. It doesn't matter what you're doing. When you do it with your heart, give it your best, give it your all, God is going to bless the work of your hands. And that is
Definitely.
what God says, that I will bless the work of your hands. If you don't do the work, which work is God going to bless? Well, I don't want to be a
Absolutely.
pastor. Sometimes I preach, but for this platform,
Thank you for the
no,
people who are appreciating me. I just am a normal person, and I believe we all have value. We are all human beings. We are all created for a purpose. And sometimes the person may be stuck. If you can lend a hand, do so. In my book, I helped a student. I helped one student who was dropping out. He has now a PhD. I had to get him accommodation. I asked a friend to help me with the accommodation. I had to get him, a bus. I went out of my way. This boy, I write about him in the book. You are given this platform. God gave you this platform to help people. Please do help them. with an open heart. I know it sometimes people think, but I give. Let me tell you, God made you like that. There's a reason. I always ask myself, why sometimes do I do things? I'll go out of my way to help my students. I will give them food. I'll do anything, even make them register. Even if I have to borrow the money, I'll do it.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Irene. I think one day I'll also have a story like your story.
You already have a story. They can never be the same.
Oh my goodness. I have a story. Of course, our stories keep on building because
And you will be surprised. I listen to you and I also get so inspired. You don't understand. I'm inspired. When I saw this woman, I was like, who is this woman? So I'm inspired. I
oh
wouldn't be
my
here if I
goodness.
wasn't inspired. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing with us. Who can
And
say something?
let's think of the way forward, guys. These
Yes.
stories are good, but what next? Okay.
Yes.
I dare people. It doesn't matter how. Don't think that you are not good enough. Like I said, know your value. Believe in yourself. It's very powerful.
Yes. Thank you so much. Who can appreciate the facilitator for us before we move on? Are you inspired? Can you say it? I want you to say it.
Good
Chahilu.
evening.
Good evening.
Hello.
Yes.
This is Frederick Omondi in Kenya.
Yes, Frederick.
Actually, here it's 9 o'clock, so I'm right to say good evening. I want to appreciate first of all, Christine. You are always bringing good mentors, good inspiration speakers. Christine, I have to appreciate you. Today
Yes.
you brought Dr. Irene, who has really inspired me particularly. I have now realized that despite the humble beginning, God can take you to the farthest end of your dream. Indeed, Irene, you have really brought us to our feet. And I believe that whatever I feel cannot be achieved through teamwork, through help from others, I can easily achieve whatever I want. My question is it possible that you are now in South Africa? We have so many Kenyans who are jobless and they are trained, particularly teachers. Is there a possibility that you can get us avenue to that end so that I have some of my relatives and friends who are really tamaking and they don't know where to go? Is there any possibility of them getting to where you are? Thank you very much, Dr. Irene.
Thank you for, first of all, appreciating me. I really am very grateful for that. South Africa is a very difficult country, by the way. It's one of those very difficult countries. Right now, remember we talked about political instability and political issues. There are a lot of foreigners, they will always suffer here. It's not as easy as it is. To get just, I think they are revoking a lot of things now. It's going to be a big challenge in South Africa. Even those who are there, they are scared, they are worried. Remember, the apartheid left bad memories to these people. They believe everybody is bad, So I don't know. It's hard. I will be straightforward because South Africans, like I told you, it took me 20 years to get a permanent residence. 20 years. Imagine.
Wow.
So it's not straightforward. Yeah. But like I said, remember, we all have different ways. Tell that person or your relative to start with a dream and believe in themselves. That's why I started. My husband went back and I stayed behind with 4 children. One of them was 6 years old. And he didn't support me in any way, not even one rand. May his soul rest in peace. He got married again. But I was not ready. I refused. I went through hell. Like I told you, they took my furniture. They did what? So South Africa is a very hostile environment for foreigners. Very hostile. Unfortunately. But that's why I went back to study, because I'm living in a white area in a way, because in the black area, they can attack you anytime. I shouldn't be saying this online. Yeah. Not some places are really rough. So to come through, to get a work permit is a big challenge now.
Yeah, I think
But
we'll
we
go.
can. That's why I say, how do we start a good school? How do we leverage from UNICEF and start our own? We want to come home, but we don't know where to go. It's hard. It's hard outside here.
Thank you for telling everyone that. We will have another day to share this. Those people in the
Dr.
diaspora.
Christine can tell you the diaspora.
Yes,
It's
people in the
very hard.
diaspora, people back
Sure.
home, they are never told the truth. So we keep on wanting to go abroad. It is not easy, my friends. If you have a good job in your country, please work on it as though you're working unto the Lord. Give your best for your country and live there. Yeah? You can only
How can
come to
we build
Canada,
schools
you
and
can go to the
everything?
US, go to Australia
Yeah.
if you don't have a job, because in our countries, it is a struggle getting jobs. But if you are able to do the odd jobs and you can do anything to survive, like what Dr. Irene was saying, well, try and go out. But if you have a job, you have an office, you have people you are mentoring, don't dream. Don't even want to leave that job. Just stay there and give your best. I'm not trying to tell you don't come to Canada if you want. But
Come. That's why I'm saying, but we are telling you
people
the
don't tell
truth.
people the truth. But I'm here to tell you the truth. I'm only managing because I started this online and I'm feeling like I am still there. But if I didn't have this with you guys online, you can be sure I could be sick. I could be, I don't know, because I'm not I'm not able to do what I was doing in Kenya. Right now, I'm not saying that taking care of small children is a small thing, it's a bad thing. It is good.
But look at you, where you should.
Yes, yes. Yeah, that is the thing. I'm working with small children in a program that is before and after school, which is great. I feel nice because I go to schools, because I'm still in the education field. But the caliber of the job, you understand what I'm saying? I am enjoying
Yeah.
it. I'm giving it my best. I am happy about it. But I am not satisfied because I'm supposed to be a professor in a university. You
Imagine.
understand? Yes. So if you have a job, please stay there. I came to Canada because of my children. I was always dreaming about how my son Joseph can get a club for soccer, of which he is now into the club and he's doing excellent. He's already the captain of the club. He's 10 years old and he has already written a book about his being captain. I'm happy because of my children. But were it not for the children, and had I known the truth about Canada, I couldn't have come. That
I
is the
totally
truth.
agree, Dr. Christine. What I think, what we have to change our mindset and start saying, how do yes, we may not benefit ourselves out of it. Maybe you are past that level, but you don't want your children to go what you went through. So how do we improve? For example, build a prestigious school where, we can, things which can build our country. Like I said, how can we start technical schools, maybe let's say skills training schools, because we need that. And in that, we really get good education where we can process, add value to what we have. Because right now, Africa, we lose a lot of money. If we can process our stuff, I know we'll be sabotaged by the people overseas there. They will make it look like your things are bad, especially foods. They will think, oh, your food is contaminated because they want to take it and take our money. But they are milking us. But how do we get out of that? If we can sabotage those guys, they will starve. They will starve to death. They don't have food. They come here and take our things. So how do we change our mindset so that we develop these good schools so that our people can teach in those schools?
Wow.
You know, because they don't have jobs. But outside, it's tough, man. Tough. My son, he's got a job, but yeah, he still complains that they discriminate him. He's doing very well. If he can buy a house in San Francisco, that's not a job. But at the end of the day, he's now changing. He's going to change his job. He said those guys undermine him.
Yes, you have to work extremely hard to be where Dr. Irene is when you come out of your country. Value your country, value what you have at hand, and use it to make a difference. Yes.
What can we do, guys? What can we do? That's my question. How can we make that difference? That person, that young man who is looking for a job can have a job. What can we do? That's how I'm looking at it. Because it will never end, this thing. And outside now, they are capping on people in the UK. They have reduced a lot of things. People, they are closing doors. The doors are getting closed, whether you like it or not. Sooner or later, they are tired of too many Africans bombarding their countries. We are not the only ones. Ghana, Nigeria, there are so many Nigerians out there. So what can we do to improve, to start building ourselves, people are struggling outside.
People are even dying in their rooms. People are dying in their rooms because of stress. So this will be a talk for another day.
But hello, Madam. Hello, Dr. Christine.
Yes.
I want to say something.
Yeah.
What we can do is we need to change from our own set.
Mm-hmm.
What we are doing, what we are working. Let we talk with the youngsters as they are coming up. Let us give them hope. Let us tell them that our country is good. Because now, as you are talking, when you are there outside yourself, I think you can now understand that going outside is not the best. Mm-hmm. But when we are here, we enjoy. We really envy to come to Canada because it's like we get a lot of money. We go to America, we get a lot of money. But as you are telling us now, and we who are in Kenya already can change our characters. Let us leave mambo ya corruption. Then we focus on building these learners, these students, these youngsters, these children who are with us. We start from our own homes. In fact, I forgot to say we need to break that, the poverty, the pot of poverty. I call it pot of poverty. Then we get hold of one another, then we can start something, as my namesake is saying. We can start something very big. We can start.
And so, yes, and there is a lot to benchmark from the developed countries. The developed countries, let me tell you, they are great. They are great in the sense that their systems are working.
Yeah.
Why? Because they have minimal corruption or no corruption. The reason as to why African countries are suffering, are struggling, is because of things like corruption. We are busy competing, killing one another. Why? You come to Canada, we are so peaceful. Like, you leave your car outside, nobody will steal it. We don't have big fences, tall fences. They are not there. You go to the supermarket, nobody is supervising you as you pick things in the mall. You just go to the ATM, you pay, you scan one item after the other. Nobody is, even if there are cameras, nobody is following you to see what you are going away with, how you are going with it. There is a lot of trust. So
Dr.
if
Christine,
we get to that level, it is not the same as South Africa, because South Africa is Africa. But Canada and America, and let me say about Canada, what I love most in Canada is the way systems are working. Everything is just smooth. Yeah. you cannot corrupt your way to get something. Like I can't corrupt my way to be a lecturer in a university. I just have to follow the steps. I have to certify my paper step by step.
Yes.
I have to do what they want done for me to get there. And as my sister has told you, it will take a long time. It might take a long time. It might take a short time, depending on maybe your luck or what God has in store for you. So if you're ready for that, struggle to go out. But if you're not ready for that, work with what you have and try to develop what you have to be good for everyone. It is possible through education. Through education for sustainable development, we can transform our countries, we can transform the world. And I'm not saying that these countries are perfect. No, they are also trying their best to see to it that they are improving every day. That is why I keep coming with stories like learn from Canada. Yeah, what you can, if you go to my YouTube channel, you will get to know, to see what you can learn from these countries, because I'm trying to pick the good stories so that I share with us for people in Africa to pick a leaf and do something similar, or try to see what can we do so that we too can also be fine. Yeah. So it is not 100%, but they are above us in one way or another. That one we have to accept, but there are no jobs.
But you know, Madam,
don't come to Canada because you think you're going to get a good job, or you're going to get a job like the one you have in Kenya, or the one you have in Uganda, or the one you have in Tanzania. You might not get it.
You know, what I learned a lot when I went to Japan for that 1 month. And especially the honest that they have, the way they live, they're honest, they are very honest, they are humble people, they are hardworking. And you are there in Canada. I got something from Japan, somebody else got something. We can bring it up, and then we start something in our country, Kenya. Imagine we can start something.
It is possible.
We can start something better to make our country better. You know, this is our country. We have nowhere else to go. We have nowhere else to go.
So everyone, wherever you are, there is something that people, you can get something out here. And that is why we are talking about benchmarking. It is good. Go out there, benchmark, pick the good side, pick the good stories, pick what is working and try to see if it will work. But I really desire if our leaders could be like the leaders in these countries, because the law is working. Yeah, the law is equal for everyone. No one is above the law. Yeah, you just have to do the right thing. And nobody is going to tell you, do this, do this. Like, if it is speed limit, it is 50, you just have to go with 50. You cannot go with 100 and assume that the law will not catch up with you. You just do the right thing.
No, that one now is about the governance.
So we are going to talk about all these things. On this platform, we will explore all these things and see what each one of us can do to make a difference in these areas. Because sustainability cannot work if we don't have order. There has to be some form of order. I mean, we are going over time. Is there anyone else with something burning that you really want to share before we close the meeting? Sorry, we went into the other one because somebody wanted to go to South Africa, and Dr. Kamara was like, no, don't think about it. But if you want, well, just go. Yeah, we have guests from Top Global. I want to request Philip, if you can say something, please.
Yes, thank you, Christine. I'm talking from Galilee, Israel, and I'm the co-founder of Top Technology of Peace, along with Eyal Bloch, who was responsible to bring in the ESD into all of the Ministry of Education in Kenya. and we are now working with coffee farmers in Kipkelion and also in other countries, such as Burkina Faso and RDC. Now, I want to say that you don't have to look for another place to live in. Be happy with where you are and discover your own potential. Now, you have amazing resources. You just have to discover your resources. This is the meaning of TOP, tapping our potential. And if you can tap your potential, for instance, what we're doing with the coffee farmers in Kipkelion, the average yield of coffee in Kenya is about 2 to 3 kg per bush. There are places in Mount Kenya with the work of Top Kenya that they are reaching 20 kg, 30 kg per bush. We multiply by 10 the yield. And this is what we're doing also in Kipkelion. And we're not bringing anything from outside Kenya, except inspiration and knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
With agroecology, you can do amazing things. And this is what's happening. And think about climate change, that coffee is a very rare product because of the climate change. And with what we call the happy soil method, happy soil makes happy people, that is working in Kipkelion. Now the farmers are getting yield of 7, 10 kg after a couple of years. You can do it. You just need to, start doing it. Now, indeed, yes, there is corruption and etc. We're doing it under the radar. We don't talk so much about it, but you can reach us at lisha.coffee, which is a social business enterprise for the coffee farmers. So again, they just started. You just need to plant the tree better, etc., and then you make it. Similarly, there are now thousands of green walls in Kenya, thanks to the work that we have done of saying, okay, it's Corona time or whatever. You cannot leave your home. Well, at least you have a wall. Then start growing things, and it happened. And you don't need anything. You just need plastic bottles or cement bags and start doing it. And some people are making good money out of it. So this is with their own potential. We have the expression from trash to cash, from trash to treasure. Do you know what it means? For instance, you have a lot of avocados in Kenya, or in Burkina Faso, they have a lot of mango. What do you do with the pits of the avocado? You throw it away. Well, you could grow a plant, or you can make a superfood out of the pit. Or out of the peel, you can make a product for shoe cleaning. You just have to do it. There's plenty of garbage. The garbage is gold. So no need to look for many things. Come and see what's going on, in Top Kenya. We also have business models. For instance, our good friend James Otieno, who was headmaster in Kisumu, has this program of give, share, and sell. Do you know how long it takes to grow a papaya tree? 9 months. Out of one papaya, he made some tens of seeds. of seedlings. He went to a school with giving 10 seedlings to the school. But he said, I want to come back next year, and see the, eat with the kids the fruits. But then some teachers said, oh, we also want some seedlings. And he said, okay, here, I can sell you some seedlings. So out of the program of producing for himself, sharing some of the products and selling it, you can make a whole difference. And this is not something that happens in Canada or in the US or whatever. This is something that goes very well with the African education. In Burkina Faso, I will finish with it. In Burkina Faso, there are many families that have chickens, but they don't have any rooster. And the rooster is kind of expensive. What we have been doing is that distributing 50 roosters, each rooster costs about $10 to 50 families. But we have told them, after 6 months, you give us back 5 young chickens. Each chicken costs $3. So it's actually more money, and this is how it is, and the people stop being victims. Mm-hmm. That's the thing about changing the mindset. Mm-hmm. Now, I'll finish with just the technology part. We are now building a platform where we have a digital identity for each person, and we have very specific things. The person says, what does he know? What are his skills, her skills? What are her resources? And what are her aspirations? What does she want to do? And we have groups that lead this thing. And out of AI, because I see that embracing the future, we've been able to really see what's going on at the level of the group of 20 people. Well, we can join forces and create some projects. I can share with you some of the things that we're doing. It's amazing. And all in all, this is also for the coffee farmers, so that each one has a digital identity. And so the buyers can say, okay, I know who is producing. Now, it's very easy. With it, 2 minutes, you can make a landing page, a website for a farmer. It doesn't cost much. It's just a little bit of time, and you made it. Within some training, you can really analyze what are the main skills of a group, and what do they need in order to do something. And also what we'll do is to follow up on the projects. But I can, I just happened to see that Christine advertised about this presentation on the Top Movement web channel. And so, I just came in, and I'm sorry if I took so much time, but
no problem. No problem. We're going to give you another day to just talk about Top to us, because Top is very rich. We have Top Kenya, where I belong, Top Global, where I belong. I think this forum needs to know something about Top. You might help some institutions, because in here we have people from all over the world. We don't just have Kenya, though Kenya are the most, because that is where I started from. But we have people from different parts of the world where you can also reach. Thank you so much. Thank you for gracing the occasion as well.
My pleasure. And, I'm sending, blessings from the Holy Land, from Galilee.
Thank you so much. And I am what I am. let me just be honest. I am what I am because of Israel. I am doing what I am doing because of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
It's because
Yes.
of what the activity AR gave me the first day I stepped into Israel, of jumping on one leg for 30 seconds, that transformed the whole idea of what I can do and what I can achieve.
Okay.
And that is why I never leave any chance to go when I know that here there is something I can do to help someone or to transform anybody's life. Thank you to Top Global. Thank you to Top Kenya. Thank you to Israel. And thank you for being here yourself. We really appreciate. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay,
Daktari, thank you for speaking on behalf of some of us who are also beneficiaries of education from Israel and the motivation to move on. It is indeed true. Some of us, where we are, courtesy the motivation we got when we visited, not when we visited, when we actually went to Israel and got the training that they gave us. I'm equally one of the beneficiaries, and I'm indebted to Israel and the team that took us through. Thank you. Thank you. I've also benefited from the short talk you have given us. I wish we had all the time. Probably we can, Dr.Christine, if you don't mind, you bring our facilitator on board. Next time, give him a whole session to share more. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, you're welcome. And because of time, please allow me to end this meeting because I don't want us to stretch too much because some people are already going into the night. And VJD, please, if you can pray for us in that same spirit, I will appreciate it. I will share the recording for everyone to follow what we did, so you don't have to worry.
Let's believe and pray. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Father God, indeed we humbled before you this evening, thanking you for who you are in our lives, for your faithfulness, that Lord, every other Sunday, we ask that you enable us to meet as a community of practice and see, Lord, what you have done, that this has not just started today. No, Lord, you have seen us through up to now, getting to the end of the year. And we bless you for all the knowledge that we have acquired, for all the skills that have been improved. We bless you. We glorify you, especially for the leadership of this community, for all those who have motivated us, inspired us. Oh, Jehovah, thank you for each one of us representing various countries, representing various institutions. For using each one of us, we thank you and bless you. And we ask that, Lord, you continue to be with us, you continue to guide us and show us the right way, the best way. Jehovah, may your will be done as we continue to work. We bless you and glorify you, especially this time when we are thanking you for the birth of your Son, Jesus Christ. Thank you, Father, that you will see us through this particular season, and may your Son be born in our hearts for those of us who confess the Christian religion. For it is in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit that I believe and pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Hey, my birthday is on 24th.
Mine is 25th.
Happy birthday.
Mine 25th.
Okay, goodbye, friends.
Merry
Have a good
Christmas.
time. See you again same time next Sunday. Next Sunday. We are not stopping anytime. God bless you.
Thank you, Dr. Christine. Bye-bye.
Bye.